Welcome to my prerogative podcast. My name is Nikita.
I'm Moses.
And this week we will be talking about habitually choosing the wrong partner. So Moses, is this a thing for you?
I mean, I guess I'm still single.
I knew you were going to say that. That doesn't mean that you habitually choose the wrong partner. Maybe, people grow apart. It was right at that, it was good for the time that it lasted, but, it didn't work out. But that didn't mean that was the wrong partner for you at that time. I'm talking about more so like choosing the complete opposite of what you're trying to manifest or what you really want or need in a partner. So like, some people choose habitual liars. Some people choose habitual cheaters. Some people choose people who don't really have any ambitions or goals or anything going on. Like, that's what I mean. Not like those relationships that like forced us to be better, do better, or pushed us in the right direction that we needed to go into, kind of like helped us grow, but more so the relationships that just like left you with nothing. And at the end of it, you was like, that was a complete fucking waste of time. And I've dated him before or dated her before. That was a rant, but just to set the record straight. Moses, shut the fuck
up. I think I've only done that maybe once. So I guess it's not a common occurrence for me. I think only one time I would say, I guess I picked the wrong person. And that's, I don't know though. It's tricky to think about because at the end of that particular relationship, it feels like maybe I could say, oh, I picked the wrong person. But on the other hand, we kind of maybe just grew apart.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning, it didn't feel like I picked the wrong person. You know what I mean?
Well, did you feel like you dated that person before? Like that person had a lot of that person had a lot of characteristics and traits as like an ex that wasn't no good for you, and you kind of ignored the warning signs, and you wanted that relationship so bad that you just went for it anyway. Not necessarily choosing the same partner in physical form, but like the same type of partner.
No. In fact, I feel like I dated someone like totally different every single time.
Nice. I have. I've chosen somebody because they reminded me of an ex that was no good for me. And it was almost like because of an ex that was no good for me, it was almost like, oh shit, I want a second chance with this person.
Wow.
It was almost like I want a second chance with this person because maybe he'll, deem me worthy and deserving, unlike the other person. I've grown, I've evolved a little bit. And so I want to, choose this person to prove to the last person that I'm a better person.
We might need to unpack that.
That is so morbid, but it's true. Like, I've done that. And I said it like at the beginning, like I've dated you before. And, I allowed it to run its course, but, I knew that person wasn't no good for me. And I kind of tried to force that shit to work. So
I feel like maybe I've done the opposite where I've tried to like pick someone different than an ex that I've had, or like at least like the previous ex or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I've done that like explicitly on purpose, but like if I could like explain the trend of me dating, I like almost like a totally different person every single time. Maybe that's it. I'm just trying to like maybe that's my way of trying to find the right partner. Is like, hey, maybe that type of person didn't work out for me. Let me like try to expand my horizon and say, okay, maybe this type of person or this type of person.
That's interesting.
Because I think back to my 4 long-term relationships, like they've all been pretty different in like a significant way. Like I wouldn't call any of them very similar. Yeah.
That is extremely interesting because most people have a type, right? So you're like an anomaly to this type of conversation because people normally have a specific type and they stick to that specific type, right? So if you like, you know, short women, curvy, with hazel eyes or something like that. Like, if that type of person appears in your life over and over, you'll always go for that person as opposed to I'm going to consciously choose somebody completely opposite of, my type or who I've dated before. Do you think that you have a type?
I would, I think if I deconstructed it, like all the people I've ever been interested in, I think there probably would be like some like commonality among them where it's like, okay, maybe this is like the type of person I'm attracted to. Like if you ask me like, oh, like I don't know though. I think I'm really flexible in a lot of key areas in the sense of like I don't think there's a body type I prefer or anything like that. Like in terms of personality, like I don't, it can all vary so much. I
Hmm.
guess, yeah,
So
it's
you can
hard.
date an introvert or an extrovert and it'd be like completely fine. And
Yeah, I've done both. Like I dated an introverted person, I dated an extroverted person, and it's like it's just how you bounce off each other. Like maybe I'm more just reliant on like the chemistry of like, hey, do I bounce off this person in a way that's like interesting or fun or like relaxing or it's like would I just get say, hey, I could get used to this chemistry. Let me just see what happens. You know what I mean?
you
Like,
know, I I think that that's very interesting because if I think about it, you know, I don't think that looking back in hindsight, I don't think that I could sit up here and say wholeheartedly and be completely honest with myself and say I was ready for oh hi kitty I was ready for a relationship. Maybe I thought I was ready for a relationship. um it kind of like tricked myself into believing I was because I've come across some really really nice guys
mm,
and I didn't like take it there with them because I could see in their spirits like they were serious and they really wanted what I proclaimed that I wanted, but I really didn't want it, if that makes
interesting.
sense. Yeah.
They wanted what you didn't really want.
They wanted what I thought I wanted. And I could look and tell that they were serious and I would not go for those dudes. I wouldn't really give them a chance.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Hmm. I I feel like this discussion is evolving slowly into something else, but kind of like so now we're just discussing our process of picking people to date. It's like,
I
indeed.
mean, I think it all plays into, us choosing the wrong partners. Like, if I'm looking back in hindsight, I'm not the person, the naive, young girl that I was, last year or a couple years ago or whatever. So I can only look back in hindsight and say, hey, this is my experience of choosing the wrong
Yeah.
partner. And this is how I would go about it differently. But I do have some comments that we could just, I guess, unpack. So, okay. So the question was, why do I always choose the wrong partner? Um, because, okay. So one is because your choices are based on how you feel in the moment as opposed to logical consideration.
I mean,
That's weird.
that's like love.
But do you think that love and choosing a partner should be, do you think that choosing a partner should be so based solely on love or logic and what makes sense? Like this is a good partner, business partner, and we get along, so we should be together. And I know that I'll be content with this person and protect it versus I'm completely in love with this person. Like,
I mean, okay, so obviously the best answer is like it's a mix of both because like if you're just purely logical about it, that's just a weird that's a weird foundation to build a relationship. If it's purely logical, like oh, this person is the smartest choice.
It makes sense.
Like I have a good job, she has a good job. We combine our resources, we will build a successful household, and the future generation will be taken. Like that makes sense, and like you could. I know some people do that. But apparently, that's how my parents like did it. They're like, "Oh, it just makes sense." So it's like, I guess to me, I have maybe some bias because like that's how my family is.
Mm-hmm. I guess
Very,
what you're saying is a balance, right? That's what I'm hearing you say. Like it should be the chemistry, but also, what logically makes sense to have a good life and, be in unison with one person. And
it's kind of like I always think of it like this: when certain hurdles are are put in front of you in a relationship, both sides can get you over different hurdles. So like being emotionally in love, that can fix things that being logical cannot. Whereas being logical can fix certain hurdles that being super emotional and cannot as well. Like,
do you think that that's communication though? Like if you had good communication, like you could fix a hurdle as opposed to some people who cannot effectively communicate.
Well, I mean, like, I think it goes even beyond that because, like, let's say, like, obviously, like, I think a logical way to pick someone is, like, I have a good job and you have a good job. So, like, if there's financial hurdles, like, we both made smart decisions and combined together, like, oh, any financial hurdles, we can jump over that. If we just picked purely on, like, I don't know, emotion, that's a whole different, I guess, set of problems. But, like, if we're having communication issues and we don't have any type of emotional connection and we just pick each other logically, we're going to have trouble maybe like having chemistry or actually liking each other, and that might cause a strain further down the line. So like there's the amount of problems you can have in life are so vast that it has to be like a balancing act of both. Being purely logical, you might have an emotionless marriage or something where yeah. But you know what that is? If you do it purely based on logic, you're being like a royal family. I married her.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like her. That's what logical is. Like,
it just makes sense for us to be together.
Yeah, I'm a royal family. She's a royal family. We said, let's just put them together. There we go.
All right, here's
work like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Here's another one. If you don't feel you deserve to be treated well, you will attract and be attracted to people who agree with that outlook.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. How so?
I feel like we've all seen it weirdly work out that way, where it's like,
the law of attraction.
Yeah, where it's like, if you look down on yourself, you don't value yourself, like people who treat you like garbage, like appear out of nowhere. Like, oh.
I know, right? What a coincidence.
It's like they can feel the vibe. That's a person I can manipulate.
I mean, not only that, but they pull it or they try some shit and you fucking accept it, and so they it'll just be up in their level of disrespect to you as they go on because they know that you'll accept it. So it's just, I guess it just, if you don't love and value and cherish yourself, then you can't expect anybody else to do it for you, which is just simple universal law of attraction. But I do want to bring up a really interesting point because I was just researching this because I feel like I'm in this weird space where everything that I'm manifesting and attracting, I'm getting the opposite. So there is a such thing called the law of opposite, where basically speak whatever it is that your wants and your desires into the universe. And before the universe delivers it to you, first you have to work on yourself. You have to make sure that you're right. So you'll go through experiences to kind of get you ready and prepared for that thing that you want and that thing that you manifesting. And then it'll send you the complete opposite of what it is that you desire and that you want, just to make sure that you're sure about what it is that you want. Now, most people, when things get rocky, like they give up. And so the cycle starts over. But it had me thinking about, like, a lot of times when I'm like about to have like a huge breakthrough, or I'm about to be like, really blessed, like the world around me is on fire. Everything fucking happens out of nowhere. You fucking don't have any money. Your car breaks down, but you're waiting for like a really big promotion, or, just like things like that. Like when you're about to really come into something, your purpose or whatever it is that you've been wanting or manifesting, before you get it, the opposite will present itself to kind of ensure that that thing that you feel like you want is really what you want. And so you have to continue to choose what you want and not settle for less.
Like it's always darkest before the dawn, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's like, I think we've all experienced something like that where it's like right before, I don't know if it's just purely like psychological, like we're making that pattern for ourselves, but like I think we've all experienced like when things get really, really, really bad, you're like, something good has to be right around the corner, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're having like the hell week, the shitty week, and you're like, I don't know when, but I gotta get a win eventually, right?
Yeah, it's like a win has got to be coming. But a lot of people throw their hands up and say this is not working. Like right when they're about to get that breakthrough, they've worked so hard, they've put in the work, they keep getting no's, and right before they get that yes, like some people push on because they know this is what I want and I'm gonna get it, right? You have to believe like the world is mental. But some people, unfortunately, give up.
I think if I could swing it back to dating, I feel like with me, I've seen this phenomenon where every relationship I've ever gotten into, I've never seen it coming. It always like catches me off guard. And
interesting.
So you'll go in the dating season, like I'm gonna go on dates with people, I'm gonna get back out there, yada yada. Doesn't work. And like, okay, I'm going back to being single. And anytime I've got in a relationship, it's always when I'm at my most single, like wherever, like whatever the peak of singleness is, like I'm myself, gonna be alone, yada yada. Then that's when someone comes out of nowhere. It's like, whoa, who's this?
Yeah, that's normally how it works. So thought that was pretty cool. Someone else said, unfortunately, it's mostly luck.
Yeah.
You think so? You think finding the right partner, your compatible soulmate, is luck? It's by chance? It's happenstance?
I mean, to some degree, of course.
Whoa. Expound.
I was about to quote this. There's just a sticky note. There's a series of sticky notes on the wall kind of about this. Where it's like, luck, you don't want to think of luck as just like random happenstance. When you think about luck, it's putting yourself in the right places at potentially the right times and letting the opportunity of luck come to you. So it's not relying on luck, like, oh, it'll just all happen, bing, bang, boom, random, like an angel will come down and this is it. But it's more
Bless
like...
you.
Exactly. It's more like you put in the work, you work on yourself, you put yourself in the right situations to let luck come to you.
So it's fate.
It's not fate. It's, I guess you could call it fate if you want to be really poetic about it. But my vision of luck, you have more agency in it than I guess you would think. You're not a slave to it. You have more agency in the process.
I guess when I think of luck, I think that like you didn't call it forth. It just kind of fell in your lap.
That's
right. Like, I mean, because we're not talking about a lottery ticket, right? We're talking about a person, like a relationship. So, and, you know, I do hear like people say, "Oh, I'm so lucky to have found this person," but I don't know. I subscribe to the belief that if it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. You know,
think of it like this.
Or if you want it to happen, it'll happen. That's my belief. But go ahead.
It's kind of like, let's say you have like a goal, right? And I'll even make it dating. Let's say like I wanted to date a girl that was super duper like in the star. Let's say I wanted to manifest that, to make that a reality. Now, if I just relied on luck, I would just wait for it all to fall in my lap. Say, oh, like let's see if it happens. But in my interpretation of luck is like I would go to maybe like more Star Wars events. Maybe I will go to more comic. I'll put myself in situations to let that last 1%, that last tiny block of luck fall in your lap. Because like I don't know when this person's coming. Like I can't literally magnetize this person here. There is going to be a certain small degree of luck, but I can put myself in better positions to optimize the 99% and then just let that last 1% happen.
Okay.
So we're saying
it's kind of like doing your part, and then letting the universe take over the rest.
Yeah. It's
okay.
Kind of like I learned about this when I played tennis back when I was a kid, and I lost the game because the other person got lucky. Because like, oh, like, did you know the ball was gonna like go to that side? I thought like I got you tricked. He's like, I didn't really know, but I thought it might go there, and I put myself in a spot where I could react to it. And then my coach was like, that's how you use luck to win games. A champion knows how to use luck to their advantage. He didn't know, but just in case, he put himself in a spot where he was ready to get lucky.
It sounds like strategy.
He did like 99% of the work. And in case that 1% of luck happened, he was there to capitalize. I was like, okay. Still sounds like getting lucky, but...
That doesn't sound like luck to me. That sounds like strategizing, and it also sounds like talent. I don't see how that's the same as luck, though.
It's kind of like, so like, if the way it was explained to me was like, luck is just a puzzle piece. Every champion has to have good luck. It's impossible. To be a champion, to some degree, you're the luckiest person on earth.
Mm-hmm.
But to keep that consistent, to put that in your control and to not be a slave to luck, you do have to put in all the other pieces to make that puzzle work. So it's like,
that's true. Okay.
Hit that ball. He did 99% of the work. And I read all of that, but he was ready for that 1% of like, what if I get lucky and the ball lands right there? It's like, oh.
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing, but just in a different way, because how I perceive it is, you know, I manifest this thing. I do what I can in my power to, you know, receive whatever it is that I'm calling forth. And then I kind of let it go and let it just naturally, organically happen. But I also know that it's going to happen, I think is the big difference. I guess for what you're saying and what I'm thinking is, oh, it could possibly happen. But for me, it's like, oh, it's going to happen. I just don't know when it's going to happen.
I hope
I hope they re-stick.
Aren't here. I hope they aren't here. They're not supposed to know what's on the stick. This is the ultimate Moses. Moses brought down the stick. taking notes. Everyone's noting. He's about to reveal something. So here are the sticky notes about luck that I wrote down to make me remember it. If you aren't ready to take advantage of luck and can only seize the moment when it's right in front of you, then you're at the mercy of luck. You want to foresee the possibility, prepare for it, and determine where to find the chance. So you don't want to only have luck when it just graces your presence and appears in front of you. No, you want to put yourself and foresee that spot. Like, if I am here, this is the best place for luck to hit me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my, I hope these do restick. I didn't redo them anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because if I'm thinking about like a dating site, I would think, okay, this is my best opportunity to meet somebody because I'm coming here to meet somebody. They're coming here to meet somebody. If we're compatible, then, this isn't just luck. It's, we both were at the same place versus if I go to the grocery store and I reach for the apple and my soulmate reaches for the apple and we both touch hands and it's like this spark that ignites. I don't know. That sounds like luck. Like that was my chance.
In both those scenarios, there is still luck involved.
There is still luck.
But you can see between the two where luck is way more heavily involved. Like, I'm going to be in the grocery store. We're going to both reach for this apple. We're going to touch hands. And on top of that, we're going to be soulmates. Yeah, that's... You can't plan for that. That doesn't involve you. That's all luck.
Right.
At least with the dating app one, or at least like going places for to find a specific person or type of person, that's at least like you optimizing your chances of like, okay, like if I'm just gonna meet a random person, walking their dog, step in the dog poop, be like, oh my god, make it
That is the worst. I would not want to talk to that person ever again if I stepped in a dog poop. I would be pissed. Like, why didn't you pick that shit up?
It depends. They're your soulmate.
True. I know, right? All right. So how about this? Can choosing the wrong partner ruin your whole life?
Whole life.
Whole life. That's a stretch, right? Can it ruin your life? We're going to take whole out. Can it ruin your life?
Yes.
How so?
I mean, happened to me.
Damn. Okay. Give us the tea. Like, what's up? How did it ruin you?
I was the ex-girlfriend / ex-dance partner who cheated on me with our dance coach. So, like, when I broke up with her, I lost a girlfriend, partner, and a coach all at once. And I was like, for half that year, I didn't want to dance anymore. After that, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to dance either. So, basically, my whole life was almost completely ruined from, I guess, my decision to be with that person.
Yeah.
And then, I was single for years after that. Like, it really, I don't want to date anyone. Let me just figure out dancing first. So I guess that did impact my life in a huge way because relationships are inherently very vulnerable. So if things go too bad, it's gonna hurt. Like if you're too callous in a relationship, that's just creates other problems. So you have to be vulnerable to some degree. So it's gonna affect you in some way when it's over if you really like that person.
Yeah.
So yes, I guess yeah. Not your whole life. I'm okay now, but
definitely took a detour, right?
Yeah, definitely took a break. Took a hiatus. COVID helped too. COVID said, "No, I got you."
So you won't feel like you're so alone.
It's like, Moses, what if I just made it so everyone stays in their apartment? Thank you, COVID.
Look, and that's how COVID blessed some people. Okay, great. It wasn't all bad.
Two next 2 years.
Take another 2 years.
Take another 2 years off, buddy. Take another 2 years off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say, I don't think that, and I guess it could definitely, you go through hard lessons and, painful experiences that you don't necessarily have to go through if you listen to your intuition and your inner gut and got the fuck away from that person when, your soul, your being was telling you that this is not the right person for you. I wouldn't necessarily say ruin your whole life, but it could definitely cause you to stumble or fall or trip up or experience hardship when you didn't necessarily have to go through that because you were, wise enough to know that this person is a piece of shit. I shouldn't be with this person, but, I'm selfishly choosing it for whatever reason. So I'm going to go and settle for less and deal with, the lesser and, version of who I am, to make whatever part of me feel whole or feel comfort or filled or whatever. So, yeah, I agree. Okay, this is an interesting one. If you've had many bad relationships, does it mean you're not meant for relationships?
No. No.
I love how you just answer the question yay or nay. These are open-ended questions, and I have to be like, explain. Are you thinking about it?
That's how I stole for time. My answer is no. No.
These are meant to get us to, converse, not just for you to just say no.
This is just how Moses answers things in real life. Moses ask me a complicated question. No. Like anything more, Moses? No. You're good, right? But does it mean you're bad for relationships? No, because see, there's always more, Nikita. No, but
no, because.
Oh, excuse me, grammar teacher Nikita in the building.
Yeah, it was just a different, entrance into that. But go ahead.
I guess because it takes two to tango, in my opinion, right? So just because it's because your relationships maybe don't work doesn't mean it's solely your fault. If that makes sense, the blame isn't solely on you.
People, I think that kind of passes my thoughts first is what did I do? But it's not. I love that you brought that up. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I keep stopping you mid thought.
I feel like that's always the first thing people think is either what did I do or what did the other singular person do, and then later you realize, okay, what about the two of us together though? Did that work? Did that work out? Because having 4 bad relationships doesn't mean the 5th one's gonna be shitty. So it's that's my opinion. Relationships inherently involve 2 people or multiple people, and you can't put the blame solely on yourself for them not working out.
That's true. But what about if you bounce from one relationship to the next without learning whatever it is that relationship was meant to teach you? And so you keep entering into shitty relationships practically with the same person, the same characteristics, because you didn't learn or get whatever the lesson was from those relationships. So you're going to keep repeating the same lesson.
I guess if you don't get that character growth and let it sink in, then yeah, that can happen. That's why I don't think it's ever a good idea to bounce from a relationship back to back, because you gotta let the lessons of it, the growth sink in and settle. Oh, what did I get from this? What does it all mean to me? How does this potentially change me or make me grow? What am I gonna do different? Maybe how am I gonna look at things different? Maybe on the next relationship.
Is the force with us right now?
Oh, this is weird. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that I think a lot of people don't know how to process their pain. Like that's actually a skill that you have to learn and I don't know if anyone can ever be a master or you can't be a master. You have to learn that skill and kind of strengthen it.
Probably, I think it takes a long time. Like
It takes a very long time. But, that brings me back to that old saying, the best way to get over one person is to get under a new one. Like
never.
that was an actual thing for real. And so I think like a lot of people they can't deal with that hurt and that pain from a breakup because you're in mourning, you're grieving someone, right? And it's just as if that person died, right? And you won't, because that relationship will never be what it was. And so a lot of people don't know how to process grief. And so they do the next best thing to make themselves feel better. And that's to, indulge in other company, to try to fill that void. But really, you're just digging a deeper hole.
I mean, that's totally the human experience. We all can like relate to that. We've all been there. We've all done any iteration of it. Because the hardest thing about about being heartbroken is like the day-to-day experience, right? Like the moment, like in time, it'll pass. Like you'll move on, but like in that moment, like
It doesn't feel like it.
I don't know, like when. Like it's not going to be today, it's not gonna be tomorrow. It's not going to be next week. I'm just going to be like this for every second feels like shit. Like there's a lot of seconds. Like we've all been there. I've thought that exact same thought before. It's like I'm so sad. It's like, and I know, like, give it like a few months, and I'll look back and be like, oh, I'm not sad anymore now. But it's like a week is a lot of seconds. A week is a lot of seconds. And
That is.
Motherfuckers like, quiet. So what do I do? What do I do now?
Right.
Like, I want to be happy. Like you just want to be happy. Like,
so what do you do? What do you do to pass the time, to pass all those seconds of hurt?
All right, there's two answers here. There's the current Moses answer, and there's past younger Moses answer. Current Moses is way more healthy and is okay being alone. I was always okay being alone, but is okay dealing with trauma and heartbreak because he went through that shit. So it's like, I've learned that you want to take up an activity, a new skill, work on yourself in some way. I like to feel like I can come out of something grown in a very tangible way. Is that like even if I'm grown in an emotional way, I want to make it tangible just to make it feel more like I'll start writing, I'll start painting, I'll like start a new competitive venture. I'll go on TikTok. I'll make a fucking TikTok. I'll start learning something new.
That's awesome. So you take that energy and you make it constructive. You make it work for you because at the end of the day, it's just energy.
Yeah, it's a lot of good energy too.
When you're sad, it's a lot of good energy, right? It's powerful. Yeah.
Like the meme of like the gym bros, like why do they work so hard? Like, oh, all those guys are heartbroken. Because that shit's true.
Yeah.
You got a new fire. Like, oh God.
I know, right? She's gonna fucking miss me. Like, wait till she see me next time.
Those ads.
Yeah.
These are pain. These are heartbroken ads. Just to hide my tears. But yeah, make it constructive. I think that's the healthiest thing to do. Like, because past Moses, I guess, followed sometimes the saying that you said, where it's like, I'm hurt. I wish for the carnal pleasures of life. And it's like, that doesn't really make it that much better. Because it's not constructive. I think that's the conclusion I came to over time. It's like, it wasn't fully constructive. It was more just momentary. Like, yeah, I felt better like, during, but then like, it fades. It doesn't last.
Yeah,
Like, like that hour or so, maybe before, after, you still got that high, but it goes away, and you're just right back like, man, what do I do now? Do it again. I think that literal sentence passed my mind. Like, what do I do now? Like,
so no.
Because like, wait, okay, that wasted like an hour. Now I'm just back home.
Yeah, and I think you feel worse, to be honest. Yeah.
Feel like I had to do that. Damn.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I said like you need like something you can do on your own, something constructive. That's like, yeah, I accomplished something. I didn't need her.
So, what are your signs of an unhealthy relationship or a repeated pattern of an unhealthy relationship?
A repeated pattern.
I'll go first. So a lot of people that I've dated in the past, they were very dishonest, and they lacked communication and being able to articulate how they feel. Because I feel like if you are not able to communicate and articulate how you feel, then we're not really going to get anywhere, because that's when resentment comes into play. That's when passive aggressiveness, kind of forms. And then, it just creates problems, I think, for me. So yeah, those would be like the two, like at the top, like lack of communication and somebody who is a liar. And when I say liar, I'm talking about the umbrella of liar. So cheating, like, not necessarily manipulating, but yeah, being manipulative, being narcissistic, like all of those things that comes with.
I mean, that's like all the bad stuff. So I guess I was gonna say the same, but just like lying, I think was the first thing I came to. I think lying on like both ends, I would say. Like if they lie, but also if I find myself like,
having to lie. Yeah.
Like
that's
even
a good.
Like, how I feel about things, it's like something's not right. Like, and maybe that's not. And like if you find, I feel like if I find myself lying about that, sometimes it's not always them. Sometimes like the relationship just doesn't work. Maybe and it's like maybe that's a sign we should just go our separate ways at some point. But yeah, I think lying is a good indicator. Like, even if it's just like an accumulation of like lots of white lies, not like even big ones. Like
the need to have to lie. What about like codependency or trauma bonding?
I've never experienced that myself personally. So like, I don't know if I have. I don't really know what that's like. I think I've seen it before, but I personally don't know what that's like.
Which one? Both codependency or trauma bonding?
Definitely. I've definitely never been in a codependent relationship. Trauma bonding. Yeah, I think I've had a relationship like that.
Bro, like legit, it was this dude that asked for my number in the mall a couple weeks ago. It was actually my birthday weekend. And I gave him my number, and like he texted me like a week later or a few days later. And I was like, damn, like I didn't even think that you were going to text. Like, where the fuck you come from? He was like, yeah, sorry. I'm just dealing with a lot of death. I'm just really heartbroken right now. And I was like, okay, let me pump the brakes right now. I said, I'm, really sorry that you're going through, whatever loss. I wish you nothing but the best, but, I don't think it's a good idea for us to get to know each other in this particular moment because you have a lot to deal with and you're not a whole person right now. And he was like, you know what? I think it's interesting that you're telling me how I feel. If anything, you made me happy. I don't want that fucking responsibility of making you happy. You should already fucking be happy. Don't put that pressure on me. That's too much pressure. And so, yeah, I think, with the trauma bonding thing, it doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, I lost a loved one. Sometimes, two people come together after they just, get out of a long-term relationship and they had a bad breakup, and they come together and, they understand what each other is going through because themselves are going through the same thing. But it doesn't, like, that's all they have. So once they're, over the ex, it's like, now what the fuck? Like, I don't even really fucking like you like that. You know what I mean? Like, you were only good for that particular thing.
I think I've been in that scenario. Now that you like explain it, I heard it out loud. I think I've been in that scenario a lot. In fact, I think I'm like a professional third wheeler. I've always been. I feel like I'm always people's trauma bonder, where it's like, Moses, I'm having a bad day. Can I just tell you about it? Like,
oh no, those are energy vampires, Moses. Like, you need to say no. Do not let them suck your good energy.
So positive, it's like,
No.
dump my problems on you.
I hope you say no, Moses. No. That's no good. No bueno.
It's like, girl, just tell me all about it.
Just go ahead and lay all your problems and worries out on me. I can take it. All right. So
you're still understanding. It's like,
yeah. Okay. Last question. What are some questions to ask yourself before you fully commit to someone? So I'll start. Yeah, go ahead. No, I was going to say, like, do I trust this person? Something really important for me is like somebody having my back. So can I rely on this person? Do I still feel safe around this person and protected?
I guess for me, it's like, do I like spending time with this person? Do I vibe with this person? Like, is it like, am I forcing myself to hang out with this person? Sometimes I'm too nice, and I'm like, yeah, we can hang out. Sure. But,
is that how you are with me?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, do you want to go hiking? Sure.
I guess.
Because no, I've been in that scenario before. Where I almost nice guyed my way into a relationship where I was like, hold on, what's going on?
No. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, just do I vibe with them? Do I like them? Do I trust them? Do we have enough in common? We don't have everything in common, but I always like to just feel it out. I feel like that's one of the biggest long-term metrics I like to look at now. Because, like, I was in a relationship with someone that, as it kept going, we realized we had less and less in common. So it's like, hold on, do we have enough in common to at least like make it work in the long run? Where it's like, oh yeah, okay, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
We're good.
Yeah.
Moses, I like this. Like, I like vanilla. I like chocolate. We're done.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Do I actually like being around this person? Do I want to be around this person, and as opposed to like feeling like I have to, and do I respect this person? And then too, I would also leave people with, don't settle. Like, don't settle for what someone gives you, even if it's their best. If it's not what you deserve and what it is that you're looking for, move on. Like, leave them in love. That's the best thing that you can do for yourself and for that person.
I think people definitely settle less these days.
And I think people are afraid to ask for what they really want because they may feel like they're asking for too much and they don't want to, offend the other person or be an inconvenience or, feel like they're asking for too much, but it's something that they truly desire and truly want and cherish and need in a relationship, but they're afraid to ask for what they need from a partner. And if you're afraid to ask, I mean, does that mean that you don't feel like this person is able to give it to you, or you're not deserving or worthy of it from this person? Like, what do you think?
I mean, I think people. I think yeah, I agree with you, but I also think people are better about that than they used to be. Because I don't know the actual statistics, but I feel like there are way more single people now than there's been like in the previous generations. So I feel like people are just like content to be like, I'm not gonna settle. Uh-oh, I can't see you. I'll assume you're still here.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Like it makes me think. I feel like people are better at not settling and like having a standard, having their boundaries, and like, hey, if I can't find at least a majority of these things, I don't want to get in a super duper long term committed relationship. Because I don't know if it's true. I just feel like there's way more single people now who are like, nah, we're gonna wait for the best possible I can get and not settle for something less.
Yeah. And I also think that it's from our previous generations too. Because I feel
Yeah.
like, in our previous generations, and they were taught, and, before them, like they were taught to settle for a good guy. Like if he's a provider, you
Mm-hmm.
know, then you need to deal with it. You need to put up with it. And that's what was passed down to us. And that's what we were taught. So, I definitely think that, yeah, you're right about that as
Yeah.
well.
Like I think people settle less. I also think, on the other hand, though, like I think there's an extreme to this new spectrum that we have to watch out for as well. Because I think people don't settle, but now I also think people are very easy to cut someone off
Mm-hmm.
and,
Mm.
and want to
That's
take it.
me.
And like I don't think it's not objectively a bad thing. I think obviously there is a point where it's like you don't want to be too liberal with cutting people off. I think there is like a point of like okay of like a what did I see? I saw a video like on TikTok or something, and it was like it was two women, and like their friendship ended, like they're just not friends anymore, and it was over like something incredibly like minor. It like they none of them did anything. It was more just like a disagreement on a small perspective, and like friendship over. And I was like, oh damn. Like people might be getting too comfortable with cutting people off and be like, no, you're not exactly the way I want you. I don't want you. Period. Are you still here? I don't know if she's still here. I don't see a red light. She might be gone. Oh, her computer froze. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Moses Williams TED Talk. Am I still recording? I am. The show is now mine. I've taken over. Don't be too afraid to, learn to respect and accept people's differences because you never know. Now, obviously, if it's something incredibly huge, like a major